Alright, well, welcome back, everyone. It is Tuesday, November 11th. It is Veterans Day. I want to give a big shout out to my fellow veterans out there and say thank you for your service. For me, it was an honor. For you, I'm sure it was the same. We all appreciate everyone's service, and I want to extend that shout out on Veterans Day. That said, let's get into the meat of this video. I have hot water. So we're going to walk through and I'm going to show you what I had to do to fix that and get that to work. So with that said, let's take a walk. Let's get started. Before I show you how I did it, I want to show you that it actually works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the cold water. Pump kicks on. Put my thermometer here and you can see it's 60 something degrees. That's the cold water coming out of my tank. Alright, turn that off. Turn the hot water on. Do the same thing. Holy cow, look at that, guys. I got hot water. I got hot water. Hell yeah. It fluctuates, it's trying to stabilize, but at any rate, I've got hot water. So let me go show you how I got that done. So working with support for the hot water heater, one of the things that they kept questioning was the flow rate of my water system going through the hot water heater. They said that it had a flow valve that is right behind the water inlet. And if the flow rate does not exceed a certain threshold, which is 2.8 liters per minute, it will not kick on. And I argued with them. I said I had plenty of flow rate because I have a 5.5 gallon per minute pump on my water system. Well, one of the things that I have realized is that with all of these fittings, all of these T's, all of these elbows, all of these everything that I have in this stupid ass system that I've created, the flow rate, the flow rate drops drastically. So what did I do? I actually added this pump system that you see right here. And what it does is it pulls water from here. It pulls water directly out of the tanks and all of that where the water system is pumping. Pulls water in, pumps it up, pressurizes it, gets it up to the flow rate that I need to provide my water inlet at the flow rate that I need. And then I get the water out of my water outlet at a hot water rate. And the tank kicks on and actually operates. Beautiful thing. It was all about flow rate. There was nothing wrong with the hot water heater. There was nothing wrong with anything else. It was all about flow rate. So I added this pump. It was an expensive little addition, but it was what I needed to make this hot water heater work. So with that, I now have hot water more or less going to the kitchen sink, to the shower, and to the vanity. Vanity is the only place that I can test it, but I have hot water. Flow rate is increased enough that it actually flows through and kicks on the hot water heater. One of the things that I do want to share with you is something that I found that made me realize there was nothing wrong with the hot water heater, and to go back and revisit the flow rate, was that I came out here one morning. It was really cold, and I had left the propane on, left power on, all of that kind of stuff, and I noticed that I had a FD code on my remote console for the hot water heater. I looked that up, and that was actually the cold temperature protection for the hot water heater that was kicking in. So it was actually working, igniting, and doing all the cold water protection, and making sure that everything was safe. The only thing that I had missing was that correct flow rate to get that thing to kick in. This pump system right here has fixed that. I no longer have that issue, and I now have hot water in my bus. I am so happy. So with that said, that's what I did to get this done. Let's look at a few other things. I want to show you how I had to make this happen. Alright, so originally this water valve shuts off cold water to the hot water heater, and I had this coming through the wall of the cabinet, and it originally came through right here, and it came up and came into the hot water heater. So what I've done is I've extended that pipe. I'm trying to eliminate a bunch of extra fittings and stuff, but I eliminated that pipe. Comes up here and comes to the inlet side of the water pump. Water pump pumps the water through, comes back out, goes into the hot water heater. I did not touch the hot water side, so everything on the hot water side is as it always was. So that's one of the things that I had to do to get that corrected. So with that, all of that done, I now have hot water in my bus. I'm really happy with that. And so at this point, we're going to move on to some other things that I've done and try to get everything caught up. Alright, before I move on to other things, there is one thing that I want to point out. So I have this relay here. I have this relay here. This relay is for my 5-gallon pump, which is this one right here. This relay is for the 3-gallon pump that is underneath there that strictly supports the hot water heater. One of the things that I found when I was investigating this is that this wire that was coming to this relay, the wire that I was using, I had a splice in it, and it was heating up and overheating. So I changed that and have the wire that came from the pump directly going into the relay. So I hope that fixes that. I'm going to keep an eye on that and make sure. With this particular one, I've got a separate circuit for this pump, and this relay both activate off the pump switch off my sea level control monitor. So when I turn the pump switch on, they're both energized, and when I turn water on, they will both actuate based on what they need to do. So I wanted to update you on that and share that with you and make sure that you were up to date on exactly what was going on with that. But that's how I wired it up. I've got one relay for the 3-gallon, one relay for the 5-gallon. The pump switch on the sea level activates both relays and then allows the pumps to work. So that's what I got going on with that. So let's move on to a few other things. Next thing I want to share with you is this little thermostat control right here. As you can see, it is currently 62.7 degrees inside my equipment cabinet, or my water cabinet right here, and the blue represents the temperature at which this thermostat is going to engage and actually activate the circuitry that I have in place to make sure that it doesn't freeze in here. So with that, I'm going to tell you guys, this was a serious pain to figure out. There was a lot of ignorance on my part, and there were no instruction with this thing. I had to do a lot of research, a lot of reviews, a lot of everything to try to figure out how to make this thing work, and I finally got it working. So I want to show you how this thing works and what it's going to do for me in the water bays right here. So if you come over here, you can see I've got this little fan right here. This fan is a cooling and heating fan. I've got it set to heat because that's what I need. And I've got this set so that when the temperature hits 47 degrees, this fan is going to kick on and warm this area up so that it will always stay at least 47 degrees inside this cabinet. I've tested it, I've checked it, it works. I'm going to show you how it works. But I had a lot of issues with it. If any of you are out there have any of these and are having trouble with them, the one thing that I will tell you is that the blue temperature reading that you have right there is what you want to keep your environment at. There is a hysteresis setting, which is a differential from this setting. I have mine set to 2 degrees, so when the temperature inside my water bay gets to 45, the thermostat energizes a relay that turns my fan off. It warms the equipment bay, the water bay up until it hits 47, and then it shuts off. So I originally had the hysteresis set at 10 degrees because I thought when it hits this temperature, it kicks on, it climbs through the hysteresis setting and kicks off. So originally I had it set to 40 degrees, a hysteresis at 10, and expecting that it would cut on at 40 and cut off at 50 and keep this thing somewhere between 40 and 50 degrees. Negative, Ghost Rider. I could never get this thing to energize because I could not get it with the hysteresis with it at 40 set to 10. It was trying to get to 30 degrees, which is way too late, and that was not it. So I did a bunch of research, I figured it out, and now I have it working. So what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how this works, and to do that I've got me a little shot glass right here with some ice water in it. And one of the things that I've done is, if you see this little wire right here, this is the temperature probe. It comes down and it drops down and it's right back here. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is right there. And I've got it close to the outside wall. I've got it back where all of the I think the water pipes and everything will be at their coldest, and so that's why I put the temperature probe there. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my temperature probe in my ice water, and you should be able to see that it's sitting in there. And if we watch the temperature here, it's dropping drastically, and I don't know if you heard it, but my fan just kicked on. Move this out of the way. My fan is on. When that gets to 47, that fan should drop off. I'm going to move my GoPro back close to it, but you can see my temperature is set to 47. It's at 40 right now and climbing. Shouldn't take very long. And it's climbing. It should be kicking off here in a second. As soon as it hits 47, you'll hear that fan kick off. Boom. Fan kicked off, it hit 47 degrees. Now if we come over, this is the one for this side. Now if we come over here, I've got one right here in the side panel of my cabinet, and this provides the exact same thing for this side. So I'm going to show you how this works and make sure that this one works exactly the same way. So if I come around underneath here, if you can see, I've got my thermostat probe right there. So I'm going to take my ice water, just give it a shot. Put this in there. And temperature's dropping outside. In a second, you should hear that fan kick on. There it goes. Fan is on, it's on heat. So it will be blowing hot air into this area. When the temperature rises, based on what we see out here, to 47 degrees, it's going to kick off. When it gets close, I'll move it to the other side so you can see that it kicks off. 43, 44, 45. Let's go to the other side. Here's my fan, and it's on, and it just kicked off. Come back here, and I'm at 47.3 and 47. So that works. So I don't ever have to worry about the temperature in here dropping below freezing. I've got those little heaters in place, automatically controlled. As long as I have battery power, they're going to keep me warm. I was going to route diesel heater vents into here, but I decided not to do that because I figured that would be a waste of a lot of heat that could be used to heat the bus. So I decided to do the little heater fans instead, so that I don't have to take a vent off my diesel heater and route it into my equipment cabinet. I could do that on this side, it wouldn't be a problem, but I would never be able to get it over here to this side unless I routed it across the floor and did something there. But so I wanted to share that with you. I've got me a little bit of heat going on in here, and I can make sure that this does not drop below freezing no matter what happens. So with that, let's go a little bit deeper into some heat discussions, and let me show you what I got going on. Alright, here's my trusty little thermostat that I've used from day one inside this bus. As you can see, the internal temperature in the bus right now is 70 degrees. The low temperature that it's ever been is 59.2, and the highest is 70. It just hit 70, and that actually is the highest temperature that it's been in here. The reason that I am at 70 degrees inside this bus is because my diesel heaters are on. Yesterday, when I was working on my hot water heater, trying to get that running, I finished all of that stuff up right as the temperature was dropping to 34 degrees. Once I got that done, I kicked on my diesel heaters. I initially put them on the next to lowest setting. It warmed up everything, got everything warmed up in here enough to kick on my fans for my equipment cabinet, so I dropped it down. I put it at the absolute lowest possible setting on both of my diesel heaters. Guys, it got into the mid-20s last night, and the temperature was constant in here at 68 degrees throughout the entire bus. Front to back, it was 68 degrees. So my diesel heaters are definitely doing me a big favor, and they are working very well. One of the other things that I did was I turned on my mini splits for backup, and I put them on heat, and I put them on 64 so that if my diesel heaters failed or there was an issue or they couldn't keep up, the temperature in here would never drop below 64 because my mini splits would kick on heat and at least maintain this bus at 64 degrees. They never got below 68 degrees last night on the diesel heaters alone at the lowest possible setting, and the temperature outside was in the mid-20s. So I'm really happy with that. At this point, I did crank them up because I had the back door open, and it was having a hard time warming it up because I had the back door open. I'm going to drop these back down. I've got them on 2 right now. I'm going to drop them back down to 1 and leave them there overnight because we are supposed to get below freezing. So diesel heaters are definitely keeping this bus front to back warm at 68 degrees on the lowest possible setting without any issue in the mid-20s. If it got colder and I would have cranked it up, I could maintain this bus at 68 regardless, without ever using my mini splits for heat. Really happy with that. I can't wait to get the mini split routing final and all of that kind of stuff, because right now everything is concentrated, but they're working. So now I want to take a break from this, and I want to show you some other things that I got done. Look what I got done, y'all. I got me a countertop in here. Got my countertop installed on this side. This is the final countertop, and I got my sink in. Oh my God, what a pain that was. It is not permanent. It is not fixed. It is just sitting there right now. I'm doing dry fits and all of that kind of stuff. I don't have my faucet in, but I got it all cut out. I got it all set up. I got everything in place. Look at that, y'all. I love that corner sink. I love it a lot, and I'm really happy I went that route. But there is my sink. That's where it's going to be. This is my countertop. Microwave down there. And that's this side. But let's wait. There's more. Let's look at this side. Look at this, y'all. I got countertop over here too. There's my stove. It's in. That's exactly where it's going to be. But even more importantly, I've got my face trim on all my cabinets. Now all I got to do is doors and drawers. It's all in. It's all set. I got my sidewalls in. I got to stain them and seal them and put my final trim on them. Look at that, y'all. I got everything set. I am doing finish work. That's what makes me happy. I'm going to start making a lot of progress on this thing. Two things that are on my list next is getting the shower done, getting tile on the wall, and getting Formica on these countertops. I also need to do my gray tanks. Once I get those things done, I will be happy. I am going to try to finish everything up to this point. One of the things that I did do was I adjusted my cabinets so that this cabinet right here is directly in line with this cabinet right here. That makes it easier for me to do work from this point forward for the living room and all that other stuff. But look at that, y'all. I am starting to get this thing finished. It's starting to come together. I did some work on my walls over here. I got my cedar down here above my wainscot. I got this ready to finish. I am moving on, guys. I am moving on. I am really happy. One of the things I want to show you too. This is a bus, y'all. Look at that level. This is a bus. And I have leveled this thing up. It's been sitting here for 18 months and it hasn't moved. It's close as hell. I like it. Alright. Well, that's where I'm at right now, guys. I got hot water. I got countertops. I got a stove installed. I got a propane system working. I got hot water. I got a kitchen sink. I am ready to start finishing this thing out and making it look like a home. I can't wait. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Like and I can't talk. Like and subscribe. And come back soon because we got more going on. That's a wrap on this video. Thank you.